A tale as old as time. An attempt to master one's environments through the subjugation of other animal species.
Sit. What did he say?
I think he wants us to sit.
Should we?
I don't know.
You know what? Let's do it, and then I bet I can trick him into scooping up my poop.
Oh, that would be classic.
In modern days, this has evolved into a video game genre I call monster taming, where cute little monsters you normally slay mercilessly for EXP and gold are now being controlled by you to kill their families for EXP and gold. Monster Sanctuary has everything I could want in this type of RPG. Easy to learn, interesting story with tons of fun lore and so many ways to experiment with every single creature in the game. You can really feel the love the developers had when they created this and did everything they could to make you feel welcome in the Monster Sanctuary. This game is developed by Moirai Games by our friends in Germany. It started as a project to pass the time by developer Dennis Sinner, who had worked on other games in the past. They eventually decided to bring the game into full development and then in 2020 officially released on all platforms. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware of this gem until 2022 and didn't purchase it until a few months ago, but I wish I had known about this gem sooner because it deserves every penny for its take on the monster capture genre. So you start the game by hitting puberty, and like every other child that hits puberty, you can finally become a monster keeper. But your coming of age is a little better than everyone else, because you are born into one of 4 bloodlines that can use the spectral spirits. They aren't just powerful creatures, they are highly intelligent and capable of human speech, and far more valuable is their knowledge and experience they acquired working with other members in your family's history. That is, when they remember. The Sanctuary is exactly what it sounds like. No matter how cute, ugly, strange, or downright evil, they are welcome. That includes other people. A few hundred years before the present, they let a group called the Alchemists from the old world who are now causing trouble today in the Sanctuary. It's up to you as the new rising star in the monster taming world to uphold your responsibilities with your spirit beast and stop the threat of the Alchemist. But before you can do that, you gotta become the best. And to do that, you catch them all and slay the mega version of these monsters that you're fighting to prove your power to the Sanctuary. Once you do, you're free to hunt them down, bring them to justice, uncover why, and put an end to the threat. This pixel art game looks amazing in motion. It's very straightforward and simple. There are so many interesting facts with the monster lore, some they could easily feed off of to make more games and settings in the future. The spectral spirits themselves are just as impressive with lore backgrounds. I love that since they worked with your other families for centuries, they tend to have other helpful advice throughout the story. They even remind you on places they've been before, even judging you as they remind you to be a good, grateful child and go speak to your parents after you've been gone for days. Speaking of characters, the rivals and villains in the game are pretty interesting. Nothing especially deep, but more than enough to learn lessons from and feel for. For example, you have 3 other families other than your own, also with spirit beasts. You are first and foremost trying to become the Sanctuary's master, the most renowned position of power and respect, but you're also fully supporting each other.
I see he's stacking damage somehow. He beat me. Okay, I'm humbled. Even though he beat the Minotaur, I guess I just had better strategy. Don't worry, kid. We'll get much stronger. We'll beat it. No. I gotta go through an entire season of depression now. I'm Ichigo. Fuck that. I gotta go through 5 episodes of finding my reason after a fight. Oh my god.
Then when we get into the villains, how Issues is a bit more than just good or evil. Yes, the villains want something terrible, and the underlying main problem is, well, evil. But the villains surrounding these problems actually do make pretty good points. You see, many of the alchemists just want to leave. Many used to be other tamers that got sick of their life in a bubble and searched for new possibilities outside of living in a creepy tower bubble. Because yes, the Sancuary is literally sealed in a bubble from the outside world. Kinda sucks when you have dreams of the world outside and you can't go anywhere. No, I did love the story, but come on. This game's true strengths lie in its gameplay. And oh my god, this is an incredible game. So at its base, it's a Metroidvania, cross monster taming game. So with that comes exploration and being rewarded for it. Many of the monsters you capture have an out of combat ability that lets you explore the many dungeons of the game. Trust me, you're going to want to remember what does what because there are tons of hidden spaces and the map is absolutely massive. But don't worry, you technically hold everything, so you don't have to worry about re-getting a creature or something like that. So combat itself is simple. You go around catching monsters, then those monsters fit into elements and damage types. Fire physical type or an ice magical type, supports, etc. Your team consists of 6 monsters at any given time. You can have a maximum of 3 on the field and switch off as you feel is needed. From there you have a wide variety of powers and skills to play with, and if you're anything like me, or my human, this will take up a lot of your time. Monsters don't just fit into expected categories, they also have unique playstyles that support passives they have, and many of them are very unique. You have the snowball sniping baby yeti, and the mini-me eldritch horror that's only purpose is to make things harder for your opponent. The combinations and possibilities only end with your imagination, because from there you also have evolution. But just for your understanding, not everything in this game evolves. More they do what they did in their first forms, but different. For example, Mini Thulu. He is a great debuffer, a great one. His evolution is also a great debuffer, but also takes advantage of more AoE magical damage, and has a unique skill, and so does Mini-Me. So Mini Thulu does something that Big Thulu doesn't, that makes you want to use him and vice versa, and I love that. Because with that in mind, every single monster in the game becomes viable for your purpose. Then if you thought the layers of potential ended there, well, you're a damn fool. Because then you eventually get light and dark forms that further their potential on the battlefield with unique passive skills that they unlock, also gaining extra stats. Then monsters also have equipment. They can have a weapon and 2 accessories that do things from managing stats to adding unique effects. Simple, but can really put your team in a great place. That's where exploration takes a huge part of the game. You see, weapons can be upgraded and you can also purchase and win better weapons from other challenges. Exploring heavily in your area can not only result in unique weapons, but ones that are several levels higher, saving you a lot of material. But you can also find different creatures you may not be able to get normally until much later in the game. It depends on how creative you are when exploring the world with your creature skills. Honestly, just walking around trying to figure things out has been a real adventure. So many surprises on the map that is incredibly large once again. Lots of interesting supporting characters as well that invested me further in the lore. Blotman and the dude in the hidden area are some of my favorites. This game is very refreshing, a great bar to try and reach when it comes to the monster capture genre. I'm a huge fan of the devs now, and I heard they have a new game called Aethermancer in the works that I'm very excited for. I would recommend this game to anyone who wants to destroy evil with cute, dangerous creatures. All are welcome in the Monster Sanctuary, but just remember, if you come to cause trouble, prepare to face the wrath of the Monster Keepers.